Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a Pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two dumb Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Good morning, everybody. Mike, I was just reading about the Heinz. Did you see this? Heinz and the Smoothie King created the tomatoes ketchup smoothie. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Heinz ketchup, and I've probably eaten it a million times in my life, but I've never, ever, while eating anything with Heinz ketchup, thought to myself, wow, this would be a really good smoothie.
Yeah, I that thought has never, ever popped into my head. That is actually kind of disgusting.
What kind of brain dead shit is that? Who sat around and said, oh, this ought to be really, really good. We'll turn ketchup into a smoothie. I guess for a 5-year-old, sometimes you see a kid that just really loves ketchup and they just, they eat it, but turn it into a smoothie. That's insane. That is insane. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 787 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Glad to see everybody back. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning early on the board to Richard. Good morning to Lewis on the board. Welcome to the show, guys. Good morning to Richard. And Lewis also, he says, season over, third string quarterback hurt. You know what?
Sell the team.
It's not even so much the third string quarterback. It's the body count. It's piling up. And the one thing that I specifically said before this season started, Mike, the main key to success for this team, it wasn't going to be nothing else but staying injured. Or staying injury free. And I thought that was this team's best way to succeed this year was to keep clear of the injury bug, unlike they have done over the past 5 years, give or take. Again, we wait years and years, Mike, almost a decade without having any kind of significant injuries on this team,
Yeah.
In the early part of this century. But again, Mike, here we are again. The body's falling. It's like the Civil War out there, the way these bodies are falling. We'll get more into these injuries in just a minute. Good morning to Tortilla on the board as well. He says, got football tonight. I just got paid. Today should be a good day, Yinzers. Man, I'm glad to hear that, sir. Always great to see Tortilla on the board. Good morning, everybody. We do got preseason football tonight. We do have preseason football tomorrow. We got Steeler football Saturday, and we even got preseason football on Sunday. So this thing is going to be a lot of fun, guys. It's conditioning us. It's getting us back into form to get ready for the Steelers to kick off here in about a month against the New York Jets in New York, guys. Good morning to Corey on the board. Corey says, good morning, guys. I just watched Ramsey's interview, I think, from yesterday so far. I like his attitude. He's gotten a little older. He seems thoroughly excited to be a Steeler. And good morning to RB on the board as well. Good morning, everybody. You know what? I'm going to start off with that, Jalen Ramsey, because I do have something written down in my notes here. He said, he said he's excited because he could focus strictly on football in Pittsburgh. And that was a thought of mine early on. You got to think, guys, he played in Los Angeles and then in Miami and now in Pittsburgh. Where, I mean, just by your surroundings, where else in this country, so of those three places, where could you be the most focused to think about football? Pittsburgh. If you're in Miami, the nightlife down there, come on, the women are everywhere, chicks in bikinis. There's a reason that they don't play good in Miami when they leave in December and go out of town to play. It's the Miami lifestyle. And again, Los Angeles, it's the same but different in a way. But when you're in Pittsburgh, you got to focus. You got to, there's nothing here. You don't go out and have a nightlife. Going out to an Olive Garden is the big excitement on a Friday or a Saturday night here in Pittsburgh. So,
Right.
Guys, again, I just think that this is a good place for everybody to come and play football again. And I would say it's the area of the country, Mike, but it's not, because Cleveland's constantly terrible. So, I mean, them only being an hour and a half away, you would think it would be the same mindset. But again, we do have a winning organization here, and we do a lot of things right. So again, Mike, I like all those things coming together. All these guys coming to Pittsburgh with nothing else to focus on other than football. They come here, they buy into one another, they support one another, they prepare and work together, and they go out to play football. And I like that. I think that's an advantage. And again, I think that's why we're going to get the most out of Jalen Ramsey. I don't know what his situation is. I don't know if he has wife, kids, girlfriends, but whatever the case may be, Mike, for a young man, 30 years old, give or take, Pittsburgh could be a pretty boring town compared to the earlier places mentioned. So again, hopefully that benefits our football team. All the other stuff I don't care about. You know what the guys do on their spare time. But one, it's football season. If they're here and they're focused, I like that. As a fan, I like that.
Yeah, everyone seems to be really, really bought in and locked in.
Yes.
All the new guys. So that's a good thing. Anytime you bring in new talent, it's awesome when they come in. I was like, okay, are they going to buy in? So far, everyone has bought in to the Steeler way of doing things. And you see guys go to other teams, they kind of want to, teams kind of let them do their own thing to where it becomes a distraction or they're not bought in. You go like Pittsburgh, you go to Kansas City, you go to Baltimore. This is how we do things, and people tend to fall in line. And if you don't, you're not there very long.
And like you said,
these teams are, always in contention, or always competitive because they expect you to be ready to go. And you see it in Miami, it's a lackadaisical atmosphere down there.
Absolutely. And I got to be honest with you, Mike, this team hasn't literally been successful since the 70s. I mean, it's rarely even had playoff appearances. Matter of fact, one of the only playoff appearances this century has been a loss to the Steelers. Mike, a thing is, when we were here in Pittsburgh, a lot of kids when we were younger, they were Dolphins fans. And this is this Dan Marino thing. And I think his dad liked Dan Marino. But a lot of kids like the Dolphins. And as a football fan, I sat around and I thought, wow, what a terrible team to sit around and hope wins every year. And this was even back in the early 90s. Come on. And they still had Dan Marino. And I knew this team wasn't going to do much. But here we are, like 30-some years later, and this team still in Miami. It's the same thing. Again, it is. It's the culture. It's the atmosphere. It's not a football town. You don't go to Miami to think about football. You go to Miami to have a good time, spend your money, see hot girls in bikinis, all that fun stuff, which I have nothing against. But when it's football season, I like my guys here. I like them focused in Pittsburgh. Again, not much to do. That's a good thing. You know, in the big picture, it benefits us. So I do like that. Let's, Mike, unless you have any other comments, let's get back to the board. Because
I got nothing. I got nothing.
A lot of messages coming through early this morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm going to jump on right here with RB. RB says, did you see Florio go absolutely ballistic on Rodgers today for undermining Tomlin and disrespecting the league and the Steelers by disrespecting preseason to get out of playing? And I did not, Mike. Anything on this story?
Well, because I know, Aaron Rodgers asked about preseason, and he laid out what it is. Like, a lot of teams now, they coordinate with their opponent. Hey, are you running your ones? No, okay, we're not going to run our ones. There's not going to be a lot of blitzing. Hey, this week, hey, just a heads up, we want to take a look, see how our guys are, going to pass rush going to look. We're going to take a look, see what this looks like on our offense and our defense. What are you going to kind of going to do? Because you want to get a look at what your guys are going to do. And he's flat out said, we've run vanilla offense, defense. Teams that we play against run vanilla offense and defense. And he more or less said like the mixed practices are the best ones to go. Because, when you had I think when the Buccaneers are coming up, he said those to him are more valuable than a preseason game to him at this point in his career, and to veterans. Preseason is for the young guys and for coaches to see, okay, what might work, what might not work, and who's the guy, who's a good guy or not on the team. So yeah, and when I saw his interview, I thought nothing of it. It was like, yeah, this is like just the unspoken truth of the preseason.
Okay. RB says, dude is a joke and shouldn't have a job. We'll get into all this stuff here in just a moment, guys. Getting ready to go down to Jacksonville and play our first preseason game on Saturday night at 7:00. There is preseason tonight, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, guys. It's going to be a full weekend for the NFL football. Even though it is preseason, Mike, it is again every day. And you know what? I'll take that. I'll take it in a heartbeat. Let's get back to the messages here. Tortilla says, at Corey, yeah, I didn't expect Ramsey to look like he wants to be here. Every interview I've seen, the one thing in common is a bunch of guys who love football, no BS. See, I like that. I like that a lot, guys. That's Pittsburgh style. That's football. That's in my opinion, how it's supposed to be. Good morning to Ralph. Ralph on the board. Always great seeing you, sir. Welcome. Coaster Holics, good morning to you. He says, still can't believe we got a Steeler game on Saturday preseason, but I'll still take it. Absolutely. Again, I think you learn a lot from preseason games, and then, and that conditions us for regular season. And then we'll be in it for the heartbreaks and heartaches and heart attacks and all that fun stuff. But we got to condition ourselves for those reasons as well, Mike. Again, the heart attacks are aplenty being a Steeler fan. And that games are never, lax to where we could finish out a game with third stringers and have everybody laughing and having a good time on the sideline. It always comes down to some kind of cardiac arrest at the end of the game. So I always look at these three games as a conditioning for us as well.
Yeah,
we have to condition too, not just the players. Go ahead, Mike.
No, you're good.
Okay. RB says, Ryan, it's more than that. He's talking about. I guess McDaniels is an absolute cuck, and no one respects him. So players down there have to actually run the team. That's what I'm saying. They have a disaster, and it's apparent. It's very evident that Miami doesn't have a good system. Point to me any time in the first 25 years of this century that you would say that Miami had a good team. I mean, you could throw together dumb ideas like, well, they have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and
they haven't done anything with it.
They've done nothing. So again, even if you have good players, and even Dan Marino back in the day, so you have to go clear back to the 70s to find when you're really talking about this being a good team. Again, the Dolphins, that organization has been nothing more than a joke my whole life, my whole entire life, guys. Corey Beaver says that Tortilla. I know it's awesome. Last offseason, it seemed like there was a bunch of bad attitudes that were okay with being a team as long as they got reps. Otherwise, they weren't in it. Tortilla responds, got a lot of captains on our team now, especially Ramsey. He looks like he's ready to get his jersey dirty. It sure does. And I think he's going to play that vocal role, Mike, that you want to see by a defender, your Jay Peasy, what Joey Porter was to the Steelers. What Ray Lewis, in a sense, was. Sometimes you need that group of guys to have a voice on the other side of the football, because when they have that voice, man, sometimes it speaks volumes, and it gets the guys playing on a whole nother level. Mike, I know you're not a big fan of Renegade, but here you are. You're in the third quarter, fourth quarter, Renegade comes on, and you turn around and you got Jalen Ramsey chirping at you. I think that just takes it to a whole nother level. I'm very excited to see this defense. I don't know if I'm ready. And here's the thing on paper, a lot of people's calling this possibly the best defense ever. Who else just came out and said it? Juan Thornhill. I think he just said it now recently. He said this. I think this could be the best defense ever. I say let's wait till we get a game under our belt before we start making those kind of calls. Again, we're still preseason, and we still have guys dropping like dead soldiers. So to jump that route just yet, but it is fun to think about. I know that we have a great defense on paper, and again, you look down through the names, you're excited, and then you feel good about it. Also, Mike, if you're going down through second string, you think to yourself, this second string defense would look good as well out on that football field. So that has to make you feel a little bit feel good about things as things go along here in Pittsburgh. Offense is stepping up. They've had 2 good days in a row. It's been a point to talk about those two good days stacked, Mike. So that's encouraging early on because a lot was talked about the defense and how they were dominating in practice. But again, at the end of the day, it is practice. But encouraging to hear again, both the offense coming along, a couple good days stacked, and the defense. You can't say enough about this defense. And again, I cannot wait to see these guys playing on the football field.
Yeah, I can't wait to see them. And like, I have no problem with Juan Thornhill setting the bar for this defense, saying like, hey, we have the possibility to be one of the best ever. I want my defense that had all these acquisitions and the highest paid defense in the NFL to have those aspirations. And they shouldn't be afraid to say it, set that bar high. Porter would say shit all the time, and he'd go out there and back it up. And like he said too, like kind of put the pressure on the other boys to back up my words. But a lot of guys like that pressure to have that. Hey, come, you want to beat us, you have to come through us, and we're going to talk our shit because we know we can back it up. You have to prove you can beat us. And if they can get that attitude and that swagger on that defense, because there's a lot of guys on there that are playmakers, you get a couple guys in there with some attitude, that just feeds. And the next thing you know, that's feeding into the offense. And then that's when the team can become real dangerous, when everyone gets that same attitude on both sides of the ball of, oh, we're here to whoop some ass.
I mean, the sad part of it is, you go to any Camp USA, there's 32 teams right now preparing for this season. Mm-hmm. Every team is going to tell you the best. The best.
They're the best thing. This, that. Yep.
So again, at the end of the day, this really means nothing to me until we get something started. We still haven't played a preseason game, guys. And again, the injury bug, it seems to keep poking its ugly head into our locker room, which is something that I said was going to be key this season. We got to stay injury free as much as we can this year, Mike. Guys are continuing to pile up injuries here. Derek Harmon, obviously, yesterday was the bigger one that we're going to talk about today. We're going to get into that in just a moment, guys. Let's catch up on some of these messages so we don't get too far behind. Let's see. RB says the thing people didn't catch was he said he can go back to being focused on playing football, not focused on football. I think he's okay. He's referring back to Jalen Ramsey. And then also he follows it up by saying kids like the Dolphins because of their color palette. I know it was the colors too. I don't get it. Corey says at RB, when he said that I felt that shit, he might be my favorite player of the season if he keeps that attitude. As long as they win, that seems to keep the good attitudes rolling. Whenever things don't start going your way is when you start to see the things going off track. So again, guys, preseason one, I'm not being negative. I'm not being positive. I'm just saying there are 31 other teams out there that have the same goals. So it's going to be, it's looking good so far. This time last year, Mike, we were positive about that team as well. I think rightfully so at 10-3.
Yeah.
But losing the next 5 games, I think, is where we all kind of lost it there. But it's definitely optimistic, Mike. I do feel optimistic about this season to a degree. Feeling better than last season. But there's still a couple pretty big holes on this team, Mike, that could certainly bring us down a peg. Again, the left tackle and also injuries are my 2 concerns. Yeah. Left tackle on offense and the injuries are my 2 main concerns. RB says it was the best merch. Those starter jackets were the shit. Matter of fact, when you said that about the kids and the color palette, that was what I thought of, was those Dolphins jackets. First thing that popped into my head. Tortilla says people take what Roger says and twist it. He said Roman needs to get out of his own head and he'll be good. And people took it as him blaming his wide receivers, literally giving good advice. Yeah, I agree. I definitely don't know why people took it the wrong way. Tortilla says I'm buying a signed AB jersey today for $80. Nice, $80. That ain't bad. He follows that up as well by saying Queen said on Shannon Sharp's podcast that they played Ramsey at middle linebacker for a few packages. If we got him moving around and TJ moving around, it gives us a lot of option, and everybody eats, is what TJ said about this, which, again, we'll get into that as the day goes on, too, which, Mike, I still don't believe here we are at 2025, and we're just now figuring out we have to move guys around on defense to keep people on their toes. Again, another story for another day, but this has been being done around the league for decades. I know that the Patriots used to put guys in unorthodox positions, and it would throw teams off. All you got to do is just put one guy in an oddball position. It's any point during the course of the game, it's going to throw off their mindset because they are on a track too. Again, why we're just doing this now, I don't know, but hopefully everybody eats, as TJ said. RB says the thing is, it's not a bold statement by one. The 06 defense is considered to be one of those. I don't know why. I think they would be all that effective in today's style of football. I think it's the names. I think it's the positivity right now in the camp. It's all a good word. Those are the things right now that are driving this. But again, without playing a game, I don't know that any of these statements could be considered accurate at the point, or at this point. We have a lot of football to watch, guys. Corey at Ryan, what you mean to say is, as long as Ramsey creates turnovers and gets picks, he'll be happy. LOL. Basically, I don't think he'll care if we're winning as long as he plays great ball. The thing is, I think he's all in now. I really do. I think he's all in now. And again, whatever happens down the road, let's see how Ramsey's looking at week 13. That's the Ramsey I care about. Everybody's fired up now. Everybody's ready to go. Everybody wants to play football. Everybody wants to win right now. Let's go through some ups. Let's go through some downs. Let's go through some games that you should have won that you didn't win, and vice versa. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm trying not to get too excited yet, Mike.
Trying not to. Like some episodes, you're fired up, ready to go for Steelers season. Others,
well, I am.
I know.
I'm very fired up, but I refuse. Mike, again, we have 6 in the Yinzer's eyes. Of 59 of these, we have 6 successful seasons. Anything short of a Super Bowl win is going to be forgotten. Yinzers love Super Bowls, and again, there's been 60 of them. This will be 60. We've had 6 of these seasons, Mike. So at the end of the day, there's a lot that goes on between now and February. I'm excited about football. Yes, I'm excited to see my Steelers play. I'm excited about all the new additions. I'm excited about being a good team, possibly. But at the end of the day, you got to kind of limit yourself as well, Mike, because, again, we were 10-3 last year, just a game away from the number 1 seed at that point. And the team that got to 10-3 managed to lose 5 games in a row. So those kind of things, you got to put them into consideration. And we're going to say, well, if everything goes good, let me ask you this. We feel good about what's going on, right? But has everything gone good so far this preseason? We've only been practicing for 2 weeks. We're losing guys left and right. Fortunately, nobody, the latest news on Harmon, I think, is going to be minimal. However, let's say a big name goes down. So, again, yes, very excited, but trying to keep it real personally on my own end. John says, health and not playing conservative in both sides of the ball are key. Otherwise, they will be paper taggers again. RB says we were running off balance lines formation yesterday. Tight end, center, guards, tackle, tight end, wide receiver, and the defense seemed lost.
Now that's a formation right there.
Yeah, I just don't know.
I like it. It's one of those things, like, you see it as a defense, you're like, what the hell?
Well, here's my thing about this, Mike. You gotta consider. You're not gonna live and die by this formation. No, it's going to be nice to throw out there and give different looks, as I mentioned earlier. But again, everyone is getting excited about Arthur Smith's offense because he can run 3 tight ends. I mean, we're not going to live and die by a 3 tight end set, and if we are, that's kind of we're kind of in trouble, I think, in my opinion. But again, to have it in your pocket, that's a good thing. Yes, I want to get different looks out there. I want to keep people on their toes. You want to keep people guessing, which again is something we should have been doing for a long time. But I've just never been blown away by an Arthur Smith offense. Maybe when he had Derrick Henry in the backfield. But again, that was you have a beast like that, it's a whole different ball game. Let's see what else we got here. Tortilla says right tackles haven't had good news like TJ moving since Lawrence Taylor retired. Tortilla also says we average 1 out of every 10 years by Super Bowl 100. We will have 10 Super Bowl wins, said Tortilla.
I don't know if I have another 40 years in me, brother.
Cody, what's up, Cody? Nice seeing Cody on the board. Cody Silva's back on the board. He said Jalen Ramsey is a murderer when he played for Jacksonville. I think that was the year they beat us in the playoffs. I remember thinking that guy was an assassin. He'll put someone down if he wants to. That's what I can't wait. I can't wait to see. See, that's what I'm saying. So excited, man. I'm excited, but again, I'm trying to keep it real.
I don't like it when you keep it real. That's my job. That's my job.
I think that's the way you have to handle a Steelers season. I mean, Tortilla says, I don't plan on being around for Super Bowl 100. That shit probably going to be played underwater or some shit. Yeah, possibly.
The new Dallas Cowboys Stadium, Jerry Jones has it underwater to preserve himself.
Or the new Browns Dome. They'll fill that up with water because they'll think it's a toilet. And,
I'm going to try to flush their team down the drain.
Cody said Jalen Ramsey is the James Harrison of cornerbacks.
You're not wrong. He is a feisty mofo.
RB says, Ryan, I think the injury thing I don't think is it's a rise in injury. The rules now state that you have to report every injury and proceed with caution when before you rub dirt on it and you kept going. And then Cody says, should have brought KZ back. Could have watched him and Ramsey Clark people. Yeah, I agree, man. I like KZ, but you know what, guys? Let's see what we got. Again, we picked up a lot of play. We have a lot of things going on defense, and I'm excited about it. Again, Mike, don't confuse that for for pessimism. What I'm saying, I'm just trying to be real, because at the end of the day, I think that after the first time we lose, and after the first time we lose a game, as I said earlier, that we should have won, you're not feeling as bad about it, because again, at the end of the day, it's a long season. You're going to win games, you're going to lose games. And hopefully, Mike, I think this team could win 11 games easy. I really do, looking at the schedule, considering they stay healthy, considering they don't go in and they're tripping over their own selves. They can get out of their own way, stay smart, stay on track, and play football. Mike, I think this team could win 11 games by looking at the schedule so far.
Yeah, I do too.
Easy.
Yeah, easy. 10-11 is kind of like the baseline for the team. I like their chances. Well, like you said, we got to wait and see what's going to happen. But you know what? I'm allowing myself to be a little overly optimistic, because what's the point? If you can't have a little fun in life when it comes to sports.
Let's get back to some injuries, Mike. Yesterday, of course, we did talk about Jonnu Smith had a sore knees. Jonnu Smith was back at practice yesterday. That's an encouraging thing. Nobody thought that his injury was serious. They said it was certainly less significant than the Will Howard injury, which was endured the same day. Jonnu Smith did make his way back to practice yesterday. Will Howard had a brace on his hand. He was participating in the walkthroughs yesterday. As it was reported, Mike, by Mike Tomlin, Will Howard is a week-to-week with a broken finger. Certainly expected to be out at least 3 weeks. That will bring him back after the preseason, which again, at this point, does it really matter how many weeks the guy's out after preseason? He could be out 13 weeks. These next 3 are the only 3 that matter to Will Howard. Again, he's not going to be playing regular season regardless. So, Mike, just get through it and, again, let the thing heal.
Yep.
No playing time for Will Howard in the preseason, I think, is a big bummer. And not only for the reasons for him, but for fans as well. Everybody wanted to see the guy play. They want to see what he could do. He just won a national championship. I want to see what this kid got. And, and then on his end, of course, not getting that opportunity to show what he has, Mike, with the draft only 258 days away.
Yeah.
But one encouraging news that I did hear, Mike, was Archie Manning is not allowing Arch to join the draft this year. He's saying to the NFL teams, don't tank this year to get Arch, because he is going to be returning to Texas next year. So that's good to know. That is good to know. Let me jump on the board here. Corey says, I'm so happy about our acquisitions, but I still want a solid wide receiver too. I mean, me too. I just can't believe we're going to go into another season without a solid wide receiver too. It's mind-blowing to me. Again, just more mind-blowing things that the Steelers do from time to time that make you question what's going on. RB says, when anybody surprised when Pierre got absolutely cooked all day yesterday running with the ones, I don't need to hear anything about special teams. Other people do it. This dude is an absolute shits. And that's all he is. That's all he's gonna be, is a special teams guy.
Like, he's literally third on the depth chart. I don't know why we're getting fired up over James Pierre.
Yeah, I don't know. Tortilla says Calvin Austin to stand on Roman Wilson's shoulders. We got our wide receiver too. Maybe between them two, they might be as tall as a Amari Cooper. I don't know. Let's see what else we got here. Mike, we do have, I thought I had some more injury news. There was a scuffle yesterday. We got the scuffle we could talk about, Mike. Okay, no, this is something injury related. Did anybody see this story? Oh, fat boy up there, your boy Mike Caboli. He says he believes Howard's injury may benefit him. I didn't read the story. Did anybody catch this? The headline I caught says Caboli believes Howard's injury may benefit him. Mike, how does it benefit him?
It does not.
How does it benefit anybody?
It doesn't. It doesn't. It's going to limit his. Now he can sit there and watch Aaron instead of watching and doing, but he can observe more, but he's going to do less. I like my guy to be able to, go out there, do the drills while watching the coach and while watching Aaron Rodgers. So it really does not benefit him at all because you're losing those physical reps. Yeah, you're going to get more mental reps, but physical reps are damn more important than mental reps. He's going to get enough mental reps anyway throughout the season because he's not going to get enough chances.
Get mental reps
anyway.
Regardless.
So now you want to get all your physical reps in now. That's why it's so important for rookies and young guys to get in all the mini camps and all the training camp stuff.
He is a bumbling goof. He's a bumbling goof, Mike. A goof. This fat head. His fucking brain is just must got fucking fat bastard. So anyway, I don't see in any circumstance how this could be beneficial for Will Howard. Again, he's going to be watching regardless. He has no choice. He's a quarterback on this team. You dumb fat head bastard. But anyway, other injury news. Derek Harmon, he has a minor injury that caused him to miss practice on Wednesday. While Coach Tomlin downplayed it as a typical training camp bumps and bruises, there's uncertainty about his availability for the first preseason game. Harmon has previously been flagged for a shoulder injury, torn labrum, and partially torn rotator cuff at the combine, but the Steelers were comfortable with his medicals at the time. Mike, again, is it a serious injury? Is it not? I don't know, but I'm starting to say to myself, these injuries are piling up early. Maybe what RB said on the board is the case. Maybe it's the league is just handling things different, but I got to be honest. I don't like the way that these injuries are piling up early, Mike. It's, again, number one rule of thumb for this season for me, stay injury-free, keep the injury bug out of the locker room. But here we are.
I think it is just the bumps and bruises. A guy played a lot of snaps last year in college, coming in, playing a lot here. Give him a rest, let him rest up because, he wasn't listed as the handful of players who are not playing Saturday. So that's a good sign right there. Tomlin just announced a bunch of players, vets, won't be playing in this first game. We kind of figured that. And Harmon was not mentioned in the players not playing. So I expect to see him out there. I don't think it's any. I think guys get bumped and bruised during training camp and let them rest. So let their body get rested for a couple days to get back out there, so they aren't training injured, so they can train healthy and get the right habits in while they're being healthy and can be healthier longer during the season.
All right, we will see, Mike. Again, they're just maybe they just didn't tell us everything back in the day. Maybe
they did it now.
I mean, now every single bump and bruise and scrape we hear about, and that's discouraging, Mike, because I don't constantly want to keep hearing about an injury on this team, especially because we've had trouble keeping guys on the field. Again, like these rookies, the past 3 seasons, we've lost a rookie every single year for the season so early. Calvin Austin III 3 years ago, all season on his rookie season. Corey Trice 2 seasons ago. Last year, you lose Fatanu and Roman Wilson both really early. So again, these aren't bumps and bruises that's going on here, Mike. Early in these seasons for the Steelers, this has to stop. Again, yes, injuries happen everywhere, but does every team lose a rookie for the season every year to start the year? I don't know any other team that does. So again, we got to keep this. We got to keep the injury bug out. Whatever we got to do that, I don't know. You can do anything, but just hope at some point it stops.
Well, the thing is, though, too, like you'll hear about a guy like, oh yeah, I didn't practice on Wednesday, and the coach was like, oh no, he was out there because they didn't list him on the injury report as missing a practice for an injury reason, because you have to have him in there, and you can potentially lose draft picks for manipulating the injury report. So any more teams are just being cautious, like, yep, so and so has a knee, they're questionable or doubtful, whatever the. I think now it's like you're either out or questionable, or the two injury designations anymore. So now it's just like anyone who has any little boo boo, they're putting on injury reports because they don't want to get fined.
Now let's go back to Tortilla. Tortilla says wide receiver 3 plus wide receiver 3 times tight end squared equals wide receiver 2.
The numbers don't lie, brother.
Oh, and then we talk about what's her face. We talk about Arthur Smith outthinking himself. I mean, this team might be. I don't know. I don't know.
Today's the day Ryan talks himself into everything's bad.
Well, no, not at all. I'm just talking about the things that are bad. And again, look around the league. There's a reason. There's a reason why teams have 2 wide receivers. There's a reason why most teams don't have 36 tight ends. Again, I just hope that this team isn't outthinking themselves, because they don't really come off as a really smart group of coaches and organizers that tend to put together a bunch of great ideas. So again, I'm going to let this one play out. I'm not going to say much about the 19 tight ends. I'm going to let it play out, and then I'll attack during the season as time goes on. Whenever we could have used a wide receiver 2 in a game that we may have lost late in the game. But anyway, again, I'll keep on that all year. Don't worry, Mike. Don't worry about that. RB says because he played in multiple games last year. Corey Beaver says Kaboli does terrible clickbait. Back to him. RB says I don't read anything Kaboli says. Kaboli's a bumbling goof. Cody said this is impossible, but would you trade Alex Highsmith in the 3rd to the Cowboys for Jonathan Mingo and Parsons? Absolutely.
You had me at Parsons.
Mike, anything to get Parsons. I would take him. Yes. Absolutely, Cody. Could you imagine adding Micah Parsons into what our defense got going on this year? Tortilla says Kaboli's just lazy. He sees not doing anything as a benefit.
Why do I feel personally attacked by that comment, Tortilla?
Yeah, Mike. Mike is attacked. Tortilla says that Cody, you can keep Mingo, and yes, yes. RB says who's worse, Kaboli or Pony?
Pony.
A Pony, definitely.
Pony just makes shit up out of thin air. At least Kaboli tries to do some journalism.
Yeah.
Might not like what he says, but
it's both bad. But yeah, I mean, Pony's way off. He's way off sometimes.
He's fucking terrible.
Like, where did you even come up with that? Tortilla, it's almost like the 2-a-days in contact practices had less injuries because of your body getting used to it. Now they barely play. When they do, they get hurt. Well, yesterday they weren't playing in pads, and they tackled. Apparently, Caleb Johnson got tackled, and it started a big fight.
He got clotheslined.
Says Automino, whatever his name is, Mike. He clotheslined him, causing a scuffle. We'll get into that in just a second here as well. Cody says Colin Coward is a dirtbag. I see him on TV. I turn that shit off. Goofy always got some bullshit to say about. You know what? Is he an asshole or what?
Oh,
yeah. I've never literally heard anybody say anything good about Colin Coward. Never.
No.
His work is shit, man. Again, I don't even believe he believes what he says half the time.
No. I mean, you can see it. You can see it in his eyes. He knows he's just being a rage baiter.
Yeah. Corey says, I don't need to hear about someone sitting out practice. Send me a notification if someone is out for 4 or more games. LOL. Sitting out will hurt. With a hurt vagina is not news for me. I agree.
That's what I tell the lot lizards, Corey. Hurt vagina ain't news to me.
And then Tortilla follows it up by saying, Vanilla Thunder isn't lazy.
Yeah, I was sleeping like right up before we went on.
Vanilla Thunder isn't, but Mike, that's the other
Mike's
question.
Lazy. Vanilla Thunder's a hard worker, brother.
Yes, I guess yesterday. So they were going no pads, Mike, and Caleb Johnson. He runs the ball, gets clothesline by Automu, as I don't know how do you say his name, Mike. How do you please say it for me?
I don't have that information with me, brother.
Otomewo. How do you pronounce that?
Automo?
What is it?
Automo?
Yeah, so he clotheslines Caleb yesterday, causing a big scuffle. The offense took offense to what happened. I just hope they carry the same energy over. Again, guys, a lot going on. There's a lot going on in this preseason. Mike, the scuffles aren't a surprise. I think this is maybe the 2nd or 3rd one since we've started camp. You expect it. But again, let's carry it over and keep that energy because we're going to be in Jacksonville here, and in a month we're going to be in New York kicking off the season when they count. And a lot of people have high hopes for this team, Mike. Again, I think this team could win 11 easy. We won 10 last year. We have 3 teams that I think fall in that category. We got the Detroit, we got Buffalo, Baltimore certainly on there, Mike. Minnesota should be a pretty good game. So, I mean, there's those teams. And this year they're kind of spread around to where last year it was that last 4 games of the season, 21 days, 20 days, 10 days, whatever it was, 3 games, Kansas City, Baltimore, Philadelphia. It's spread apart a little bit for us this year. So us as fans, we can't say, well, they gave us 3 games in 10 days. Because, I mean, we did that. And I don't know if that was I don't know if that's the correct excuse. I don't know if that team was good enough to win a playoff game last year, Mike. But again, I don't use those last 4 games as the excuse. I just look at it as that's how it played out. And again, we didn't look good in the playoffs. We couldn't stop the other team from scoring. We couldn't score points. So again, those are the things that we need to fix moving forward. What else we got? What else we got for the day here? TJ Watt does say that what does TJ Watt say?
What does TJ Watt say?
TJ Watt says the defense, they're coming with a bunch of different looks. We did talk about this earlier, Mike. That's a good thing. And they're making it sound like it's something they just came up with. Well, if we put TJ Watt somewhere else, we'll get better production. How many of us on the board sat around and watched this team for the last 8 years saying, if you would put TJ Watt somewhere else besides right there, and you know what I'm talking about when I say right there, because you could look at your screen right now and picture him on that outside about 6 yards off the tackle, angled in. And again, we know it, we see it. Other teams can prepare for it because they, of course, can see it and know it. But Mike, they came up with this brainchild to move people around on defense to throw off the offense. Come on, this is earth shattering. This is breaking, Mike.
I don't know. Lining up TJ Watt over on that side ever since he came in the league has led the NFL in sacks.
Mike, but don't you complain in the playoffs when he makes no plays? When the good teams know what to expect and they prepare for him?
Even the good teams during the regular season, when they're lining up 3 guys over on his side.
He did good against the Giants. He did good against the Jets. But I'm talking about January, Mike. When he gets no numbers. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, because he can't beat the guy next to him at that point.
I'm talking about the last 5 games of the season. At that point, the last 5 games of the season, the guy came off of that position and he got almost nothing done, putting up zeros multiple games. Isn't it a good idea to have different looks on defense? Let's be honest.
It could be, or some other guys can step up and make plays too. If they're putting 2 or 3 guys over,
or
you should be able to beat someone one-on-one
a little bit, so the guys across from you don't know where you're coming from. That's all. Again, a whole new theory that people outside of the city don't get. But you could put other looks. Mike, I can remember New England lining up linebackers on the line and bringing back linemen and bringing back to the linebacker position. At this point, even a seasoned veteran offensive lineman starts to question themselves. Oh, wait, that's my assignment. Hold on. What? So, again, I think this is greatly beneficial. And, again, I can't believe this is just now landing in Pittsburgh.
I don't know, man. We used to do weird exotic zone blitzes, so
right, and
we've done all this shit all this time.
Wasn't this Blitzburg? Didn't we create the zone blitz? Didn't we confuse everybody to the point? Didn't we do this, Mike, to the point that everyone was so confused that when they played the Blitzburg defense, it was such an effective. Why did that stop? Why did that end?
Until they figured it out, the league eventually figured out how to beat it.
And then the
league eventually figured out how to beat it. New England figured out how to beat us. Cincinnati figured out how to beat us. They would just spread us out 4 and 5 wide to where we couldn't run
for that particular defense. Absolutely. And you know what? Everybody's going to figure it out. If you do it, yes.
Yeah.
So but then you drop it and do nothing similar or of that nature for decades is what I'm saying. Again, it's like brand new, Mike. If people are talking about this like it's a new thing, is what I'm saying. And it's
we started to do it last year, and up until Highsmith got the wham in his hammy, then we didn't have enough good linebackers to start moving people around. We end up having to go back to the base formation.
With that. I think we have plenty of good linebackers. But anyway, point taken, Mike. Good comment there. Let's move on the board though, because we do have some comments stacking up here. All right, Coaster Holics says, I'm convinced everything Colin says is just a troll. You're right. I never see anything semi-intelligent that Colin Coward ever puts up or anything that's even remotely true. John says, this time of year, if a player has salsa fart, Has a salsa fart at practice that's overanalyzed. Fans need a fix. That's it. That's about it, too.
Chasing the dragon.
Tortilla says, I think that it's just stubbornness. They know that they should move TJ, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, what if he could double his sacks? What if he doesn't have a down sack here because you move him around? Give a different look. Believe me, that's going to have an effect. You prepare. Listen, even if he's the best guy out there, and again, you know where he is, if you move him around, that shakes up the offense. They have to react accordingly, and they don't get to go out and impose their will. They have to now react to what you're doing, and you're kind of taking control of the situation, opposed to, we know TJ's going to be out here. This is week 17. Again, Mike, these zeros in his stat line the last 5 games of the season, I think is truly evident of this. And when you play good teams, it's going to be the same thing over and over and over. It's going to work against the Giants. It's going to work against the Jets. But there's a reason it didn't work against Philadelphia. There's a reason it didn't work against Kansas City. There's a reason it doesn't work against Baltimore. There's a reason.
I have a comment, though. Like, what if, we move him around and then his production tanks?
We'll never running to. What if it's better? We don't know unless we try.
Right? Yeah, that's why I'm throwing out a counterpoint here. Like, what do we do then? Do they go back to their base then of keeping him on that?
Give him a different look then. Maybe a third look. Maybe a fourth look.
They have all these different exotic packages where they're lining him up on the left side and Highsmith on the left side, or they're lining them up in the middle, all these different places, and nothing works.
Well, then you tried, it doesn't work. Now it doesn't work because we never even tried it, so it's not working for us. If you tried and it doesn't work, then I just got to say that, what if his numbers double if you go that route? We just don't know because we've never tried. We found out what works. Other teams found out how to counter it. Now let's counter that and try to get his numbers up other ways. And you know what I mean?
And I think this year too, we're going to see a lot of it, especially because with that improved secondary play. At least on paper, that how better, because before that you really didn't have that luxury, because if you don't trust the secondary, you have to you're going to get quick pressure from Watt 80% of the time. That might be better than than that shaky coverage you have back there, than moving around. But this year with that secondary, you should have so much better protection that you can try and do new and exotic looks that might take a few seconds longer to get back to the quarterback, but with that improved corner play, you can do it.
And look at the production that Watt does get with knowing exactly where he is and where he's coming from every single play. Imagine if you didn't know where he was going to line up. If he doesn't line up till the last second, again, I think that you could only get good. And again, if you get burnt, it's no different than it was last year in the last 5 games when he got nothing accomplished. I just think that this certainly benefits this defense, certainly benefits TJ Watt, certainly benefits this team. I can't wait to see the defense moving around. And by this, Mike, by the different defensive looks, TJ Watt says the better we disguise, the better everyone eats. So, Mike, I think that they also think the same thing. I don't know why. I think my argument is why it's just now becoming an idea. But on the other side of this, Mike, I think that everybody thinks it's going to be effective. And again, if you and I are preparing something, we're playing a video game, and I do something that's unexpected, it's gonna catch you off guard, and you're gonna have to come off of your game to try to figure out how to counter that, and then continue to do what you do. I don't think it's a bad thing. And again, if you go half a season and we just get blown up and nothing works, then you make the adjustment. I can't see the problem with this being a problem.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's go right here to Cody. Cody says, I heard Aaron Rodgers checked Brandon Eccles at practice yesterday. You know what? That's the first that, Mike, I literally am not hearing any Brandon Eccles.
You know what? For DB, if I'm not hearing anything good or bad, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Just be
like
out
an
there
offensive lineman,
Exactly. You don't hear their name called. I'm hoping they're doing something pretty good out there.
Yeah. Cody says by the end of the year, Stephen Jones or Dylan Cook will take over for Jones.
Oof, I hope Jones gets it together.
Mike, this is what Broderick Jones says. Broderick Jones feels like he's quicker. He has quicker feet and hands this year. This was the one comment that I did see by Broderick Jones.
Okay.
So,
Get to your set quicker, but now you're going to be able to anchor and punch violently.
Right.
And that's
you got
the violence in the punch.
This is what he has to fix right here.
Yeah.
If he could dig in here into these things and figure out how to fix what's between his brain and between his ears, because again, the guy has all the tools in the world. He should be able to take them big ass arms and punch. He should be able to do these things. I think that it has more to do with what's between his ears than it does with what's hanging, with the limbs hanging off his body. I really do. But good, as long as he's feeling positive.
Because I was watching cut-ups of some of his pass blocking last year, and he was just dropping guys like they were nothing, like they were children. And then there's other plays where he just totally whiffed on plays. So he has the ability, but like we keep saying, it's up here having the confidence to do it, play in and play out. That's just my biggest worry with him is, consistency.
Mike, I just pulled up the Kabuli. Remember I asked you if you've seen the Kabuli, what he had said? I just pulled up what he had said.
Yeah.
This is what Kabuli said. He says, Kabuli believes Will Howard's injury might benefit him. I don't think it really affects him in the way that they look at things. In the long term, I think it might benefit him, and now he doesn't have to hear the outside noise. Why does he have to hear the outside noise? This guy's still part of this team. This guy, Mike.
The way they do things, this is like it's a new era in the Steelers front office. Con and Weedle are not afraid to get rid of people if they don't like what they're seeing. So him losing reps, maybe under the old regime, like, okay, we drafted him, we're going to take our time with him. Not with this regime. It's going to be different. It's going to be weird.
John says Washington should be attached to Jones's hip. And if we could, that'd be a pretty big guy if we could shove them two guys together and make one, huh? Tortilla says last year was a weird year too. Porter drawing a bunch of flags. Watt had a bad end of the season. Minka 25 yards off the ball all season. Dante Jackson also sucked at the end of the season. And don't listen. At the end of the season, months from now, there's going to be things that we're going to sit back and say, oh, things could have been better if we would have did this, and it could have been better if that would have happened. And I think that happens every year. But you're right. As I'm reading down through this list of things you said, those are things that did happen as the season ended. Mike, finishing not only is something that our nose tackle has to do, finishing is something that our team has to learn how to do.
Yeah.
Cody said it was Deshae Townsend. Jalen Ramsey needs to be Deshae. Remember Deshae? I liked him.
I loved Deshae Townsend. He was one of my favorite. He wasn't the most overly athletic guy, but he was a smart guy.
He was him and Hines were boys. They were always roommates.
I always loved Deshae. He was a little guy too, but not afraid to get up there. I love Deshae.
Remember Dwayne Washington? The only reason I remember Dwayne,
he did not run into the kicker, Washington.
No, he was always in that, and he was known for that stupid commercial where he said something about spaghetti or something. Or they had those little kids at that museum.
Yeah.
And he was showing these kids art, and that little girl goes, "That looks like spaghetti." I don't know if you remember that.
Him and Chad Scott, man. Him and Chad Scott.
What about him? What about Scott?
They were our starting corners for a while.
Oh yeah. Tortilla says Queen didn't look good. Only Hayward and Elliott really looked good all season. And I thought Cam Hayward had an exceptional season. I thought his season was really good last year compared to the prior two seasons. He really stepped up last year. And I'm just wondering if we're going to get that, Mike. Are we going to get that encore from Cam Hayward? That's what I'm
worried about.
Is it going to be Cam of last year, or is it going to be the Cam that we started to see before that was going down? Yeah. I think we could all agree he had a better than average season last year.
Oh, yeah. And he was healthy, too. That was the key. He wasn't dealing with any nagging injuries all year like he was the previous two.
Yeah.
If he can stay, again, the theme, if he can stay healthy, I'm expecting the same out of Cam Hayward. And Deshaun Elliott was a revelation last year. Cool. Yeah. He was a beast.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see him play this year as well, Mike. Let's go right here. Corey says if Ramsey is the new hire, is new here trying out a bunch of different things, then there's no reason it should have taken this long to do it with TJ. He's our highest paid player in the face of our defense. No brainer. Cody says Harmon should break through an O-line better than Larry O. Absolutely. And if he don't, we should be upset. We should be very, very upset if Harmon isn't head and shoulders of an upgrade better than Larry O.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we drafted him with our first pick,
Yep.
That's what we drafted. Black should be able to push the whole entire O-line into the quarterback of his own. He's a big, big guy. I can't wait to see him play. They have him on the third string, Mike. I think he works his way up the ladder pretty quickly.
Does too, yeah.
Because of his size, and I think he gets in the backfield and makes plays. I can't wait to see all these rookies again. Just 2 days away, guys. This is Thursday afternoon. This time on Saturday, we're all going to be pretty excited and getting really close to that game 1 preseason of the Steelers in Jacksonville. RB says Eccles has been much better than Beanie, which is encouraging.
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, because I think Beanie even outplayed himself last year, coming in as a undrafted and having a bunch of interceptions and a couple in big game situations. So if Eccles comes in and he outperforms Beanie, I'm not upset. I think we should all be happy that Beanie was able to give us what he gave us as an undrafted rookie last year. And if somebody comes in who has a higher pedigree, I hope they play better than him. But again, I'd like to see Beanie follow that up. Let's see. Cody says this. Oh my God, what does that have to do with his hand placement? Pat Meyer should teach him to grab someone.
Man, you punch that D into the ground, they fall on the ground, they lay there like a little lost puppy.
RB says that commercial. Yes, yeah, he tucked the Nerf Vortex into the back of the kid on the crutches shirt for a handle. Yeah, because there was like, you remember?
I
this,
forgot
Mike?
about that. Yes,
there was like it was probably about 5 different pro football NFL guys.
Yes,
and it was like what like what they do with children and stuff. And Dwayne Washington, they were in a museum, and he told this little girl, he's like, something about this is something, and the little girl goes, that looks like spaghetti, and it was just supposed to be funny because it was obviously great art and shit. So Dwayne Washington. John says other players point out how predictable the Steelers are both on offense and defense. The schemes are stale. That's one thing I'm hoping to see a different this year.
Yeah,
and it appears that that's what they're trying to do, Mike. I hope. Again, there's new hope in town. There's the Aaron Rodgers effect. Everybody's believing in him. He's believing, he's taking in the culture. He's taking it in. There's the Jalen Ramsey effect on the other side of the ball. So again, guys, I hope, and it seems like in the 3 tight ends and moving guys around on defense, it seems like this is something we are going to see here, a little bit of a change. And I think, you hit the nail on the head, John. We were very predictable the past 2, 3, 4 seasons, and I don't know what the hell they were doing a lot of times. I would call it out during the game, and people would say I'm dumb and I don't know what I'm talking about. But apparently I did, and I hope to see some changes, guys. I hope to see some changes on both sides of the ball, Mike, because this team has to give different looks. It can't continue to go out and do the same thing they've done for the past 4 years. They just can't. They can't.
Yeah, with what Aaron Rodgers said too the other day, talking about the offense and Arthur Smith, he's saying how receptive Arthur Smith is to Aaron Rodgers' input and the input of like the wide receivers for the passing game. Like the receivers that will talk to Aaron Rodgers, hey, this is what we kind of like. Hey, can we try this? And then and Aaron's like, yeah, I go talk to Arthur Smith about it, and we see if we can incorporate it in the offense, give it a try. If it works, cool. If it doesn't, all right, cool. We tried it, it didn't work. So on offense, Arthur Smith is being very open to any type of suggestions and idea from his players to mold the offense to their strength. So that's a very encouraging sign because we did not see any of that under Matt Canada. Under Matt Canada, it was my way or the highway. Last year, Arthur Smith changed some things, but I think he was limited with his quarterback play. And hopefully with Aaron, that's no longer a hindrance, but we'll see. Time will tell.
Let's see. Hey, Jen on the board. Always great seeing Jen on the board. She says, hey, Steelers
What
fan.
up?
John, okay. Also, Jen says, can't wait for football. Aaron says, here we go, Steelers. That's right. Welcome to the board, Aaron. Always great seeing you as well on the board, sir. John said, the days are gone where talent alone can win a Super Bowl. There has to be innovative schemes as well. That's why Tomlin's playoff success went down. I absolutely, partially. I think it certainly plays in that as well. There are smart coaches out there. And don't get me wrong, this Andy Reid, again, he wins everywhere he goes. Say what you want about Andy Reid. This guy's a smart coach, and some guys are able to come up with game plans every week that work. Some guys aren't. Cody says, do you guys think the offense can keep the defense off the field this year? And if they can't, the defense will be injured by the end of the year, as always. And we're hoping, Mike, and that's a big thing that we talked about as well. Hopefully this offense, the additions, the quarterback, just everything, the offensive line, another year together, gelling, hopefully. Some of the weapons you bring in, Jonnu Smith, DK Metcalf, of course. Hopefully all these things can give us that, Cody, because we have to keep the defense rested. I mean, you can't depend on them. It's a long season. It's a lot of football, and you can't depend on your defense to try to win you every game. You can't expect TJ Watt to punch a ball out in the last 30 seconds of every game. Those are the kind of things that are great. They're fantastic. But again, you live and die by these. You're going to die more often. I always kind of use the comparison of home runs. If you live and die by the home run, you're going to lose a lot of you're going to lose a lot of baseball games. But when you win, it's going to be pretty, and everyone's going to love it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you have to have a good football team. You have to have again, a lot goes into winning a Super Bowl. If it wasn't, Mike, 31 other teams would be winning a lot more.
It would be a whole hell of a lot easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there'd be more teams winning it. But yeah, I'm hopeful that the offense will be able to ball control offense, keep that defense fresh so they don't, like Ryan said, have to play hero ball every single snap the way they've had to do for the past 4 years here. Last year we were hopeful that, okay, we're going to get Russell Wilson in here. He'll be able to do something, and he didn't. Now we're hoping Aaron Rodgers can do it too.
That's one of my main concerns, Mike. I just hope we don't have another Aaron Rodgers type situation with, another Russell Wilson type situation with Aaron Rodgers. That would be the biggest bummer of them all. Building this defense, bringing the draft picks up, bringing the free agents in, bringing the trades in, and having an Aaron Rodgers not being an improved quarterback situation over last year, I think just shits the bed entirely, Mike. We have to have good performance from this 42-year-old quarterback. Say what you will. I always say this. He's closer to 50 than he is to 30, and 30 is an old player in the NFL. We need this guy to come out and do all the things that we're hoping that he could do, Mike. And as I said, I think he's thinking the same thing right now that we are. Yeah. Coming out on Sundays and actually getting it done and saying it and believing in yourself are two different stories. So again, Mike, we have to wait till they get down on the field to see the results, to see if it's going to be a difference. But at this point, Mike, we got it. This is what we got. This is what we're going to battle with. This is our army. This is our team.
Yeah, and hopefully, they can put on a good showing. Because they have a really nice team, a nice team that they assembled. It's just can everyone click at the right time. I'm just worried that the defense is going to be on fire for the first 6-7 weeks, and the offense will be slow to catch up. And then once they do catch up, that defense might be tired out. And that's a worry that I kind of have in the back of my head. Is like, because some offenses take longer to get going. And I have a feeling that could be our offense trying to get going. And by the time they do, is that defense going to be dead tired? That's my creeping doubt in the back of my head.
And that's something that's a total Steeler move. I mean, that's something that I would not be surprised. Let's say, as you say, Mike, the defense comes out and carries the load for the first X amount of games. And then the offense comes along right around week 6. And as they come on around week 6. And then the defense might start to come back. And then you're thinking, okay, everybody's playing good. And then the offense will fall back and struggle a little bit. These are Steeler problems that I can see having, Mike. Let me read a couple of these messages, and we are going to get on to the a little bit more on this offense. Now we're going to get into some defense here, guys, on the board. I'm going to go right here to Tortilla. Tortilla says, it's Steeler pride. They almost want you to know that they're going what they're going to do and still beat you. Thing is, we don't have the offensive line to do it like the Eagles, big, strong, predictable, and still win. Yeah, you're right. The Eagles are a team, they'll look you in the eye and say, we are going to push this football down your throat, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. There's teams that can do this. There's teams that are not. Right now, we are not one of the teams. So you have to sometimes, instead of trying to go through the guy, you go around the guy or over top of the guy. But this is where the Steelers are. We're trying to figure out what it is that we got to do to create offense here. Mike, this Aaron Rodgers, again, they're talking about the past couple of days, and I mentioned it earlier, how the offense is looking a little better. 2 days in a row. This is the first time they've had consecutive days where the offense beats the defense, Mike, in the 7 drills. So the 7-shot drill, I'm sorry. Both touchdowns. Let me see. Rodgers threw 2 touchdown passes to DK Metcalf yesterday. Both touchdowns came on crossing routes where Metcalf beat his man to the inside and presented an easier target for Rodgers. So you are seeing the offense pick up a little bit day by day, where every day leading up to that point, it was defense. As they're concerned about this offense, they're not clicking. This ain't looking well. So, Mike, as of yesterday, 2 days in a row, 2 days in a row, first time in this training camp that the offense was able to beat the defense in the 7-shot drill. One drill, one win. It seems minuscule, but at the end of the day, you got to start stacking the good things together to create something better.
Yeah, and it's building that chemistry. Like it sounded like these past couple of days that DK Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers chemistry was building. Yeah, Jalen Ramsey wasn't out there. I don't care who you're beating. It's nice. It's a confidence builder. I would be worried if they weren't connecting against the backups.
Yeah.
And they were. So, okay, that's cool. And the way Jalen Ramsey has been playing in practice, he's been at another level. So it's nice to get him out there, out of the field to let the offense get going. And you see some coaches around the league, too, that are offensive coaches. They put rules in place on their defense so they can get the offense going. They like, hey, guys, you can't swap balls. Let's not try to pick off passes. Let's not jam the guys for a couple practices because we want to get rhythms going. Where here in Pittsburgh, it's like it's iron sharpens iron. It's fight for everything. So it's nice to see that, they were able to do it against the guys they were supposed to. If they weren't doing it, I would be throwing up major red flags right now.
Absolutely. Let's get some more of these messages here, Mike. Corey says he's got some bold predictions for the season. We're going to have a new rushing king because Henry and Barkley will get hurt. The Ravens miss the playoffs, and Eagles get the injury bug and miss the playoffs. You know what? The Eagles were just on one of these runs like the Steelers used to be on every year. They just everything they touch turns to gold. I hope you're right, Corey. I hope you're right. But damn it, if there's when a team has something going on, it's hard to stop them. Kansas City's an example. How many guys they lost over the years? How many receivers, guys that left town, and they just continue to win. When you got it, you got it. I can't explain it. We've had it, many times throughout the years. But I hope you're right. Believe me, if these predictions come true, I'll be happy. But it just seems like Mike, the teams that got it, they got it, and teams that don't. I don't know.
Don't put that evil on Saquon Barkley. He already
put that evil on Saquon. Yeah.
No, I love me some Saquon Barkley.
Oh.
He can get nicked up. He can't get injured. He can get nicked up.
Yeah, who cares?
I care. I like Saquon. He's my guy.
Yeah, he is from Pennsylvania. That's true.
Penn State, baby.
Is it? Wait, no, he didn't. Is he from Pennsylvania? Wasn't he from over near Philly? Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong guy.
He's from the eastern part, I believe.
I'm thinking of Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons from PA. Yeah, I don't know if Barkley is.
Barkley, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, somewhere in that area.
All right. John says Hurts does just enough to keep the D off balance. They aren't that just that's the thing. He's not a great quarterback. They got it going, brother. Sometimes, and again, if you could explain this, our team would be better, and other teams would be better. There's just teams that when they have it going, and the Eagles are that team right now.
Like what was bad? I thought it was going to be bad when AJ Brown's reading self-help books because he wasn't getting the ball and the quarterback couldn't find him. I thought that he was just going to implode, but somehow Jalen Hurts has that way of turning it on in the playoffs. And in his two best games were the Super Bowl win and the Super Bowl loss against the Chiefs. For some odd reason, he's that guy. Once he gets there, can play well, but it's a struggle to get there.
And I don't know. I'm not down on the guy. I mean, he's an NFL starting quarterback, and there's only 32 of these guys on the planet, and I give him that. But at the end of the day, he's not doing amazing things. He's doing the right things. He's doing the smart things. He's doing the things that work. Yeah. And sometimes, as I said, Mike, if you're not going to beat somebody going straight at him, sometimes you have to figure out a way to go around them or over top them or underneath them if you have to.
Yeah,
and you need to get.
They plan the offense around him. Hey, we know he can run the ball. So we'll do stuff with him. We'll do the touch push. And like John just said, he's the modern day Terry Bradshaw, turns it on in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they have that team to where they can beat you with the run game and smart passing attack, which hopefully we can carbon copy that.
Cody says, same on the board. Tortilla, imagine Hurts being behind our offensive line, though, and then imagine our offense with the Eagles' offensive line. We can't be predictable if we can't push the other team around. Yeah, and that's another thing. We got to get big push from these young guys, dude. This offensive line is so young, with the exception of Ciamalo. I mean, these are all guys that's been rookies the last 3 years with Broderick Jones and Fatanu and Frazier, and I mean the whole way down. So the way this offensive line comes together and performs this year is a big part of this team. Again, controlling the line of scrimmage, Mike, is something that that's why they're drafting these guys, because they want to build that solid nucleus for this team. But are we there yet? I don't know. We're gonna find
No,
out.
I hope so. They got to take a lot of guys got to take jumps this year, which it sucks to put pressure on them, but guess what? You're in the pros now. It comes with the territory.
Jen says Packer fans are making the Steelers an easy win. Hey, we'll see.
We'll see.
They haven't seen this defense yet. We haven't seen this defense yet. But if it's what we're hearing, it's going to be good, guys. And again, that's going to be a fun game. I like the Tortilla's calling it the ugly sweater bowl. I like those helmets. I like the ones they look like the old leather helmets, but they're actually real football helmets. I think that's kind of look cool. He says Packers versus Steelers will be known as the ugly sweater bowl. Jen says pants more than sweaters. Absolutely. John says see, Love equals Dak. Both are B- quarterbacks, and the fans must hope they can excel. It won't happen, and both teams are in worse position than a team with no quarterback. So many teams are stuck on average. John says Hurts is the modern day Bradshaw. Cody says when you have a great offensive line and the QB and running back can't be stopped. Let's see.
Like, doesn't a great O line and D line just like they make life so much easier?
Look at
for
Philly.
Everyone around. Like when Denver had their O line running that zone scheme, where they turned what's his name into a Hall of Famer. You know, just plucking running backs out of anywhere, throwing them in there, and they're getting 1,200 yard seasons. Oh, I love me some big O lines.
Tortilla says Jordan Love had a lot of potential, though Dak is looking like he's reached his peak. Both are severely overplayed. I'm sorry about that. I've always kind of liked the way they did Jordan Love. I got to be honest. They brought him up. They did him the same way they did Aaron Rodgers. They brought him up behind Favre. They brought him up behind Rodgers. They let him learn from this guy who's going to the Hall of Fame. Maybe what we should have done under our quarterback, but Mason Rudolph was the way we went, and it didn't work out that way for us. But Jordan Love, guys, give him some more time. He's still relatively young in the grand scheme of things. Him, Dak,
he's inconsistent though.
He's definitely inconsistent. And you know what? This, listen, I'm not going to listen to any. Listen, I don't care what Packer fans have to say. You know what I mean? These guys, they are delusional. Look at that. That's a nice shirt.
That's a nice shirt.
When was the last time the Packers really did anything besides beat us in that Super Bowl win?
That Super Bowl never happened.
Is literally the only reason that besides for that would have been the 90s, right? I don't think the Packers really ever do much anymore.
They're there. They're there a lot.
They won. They were in the first Super Bowl. I guess that counts for something. So
they're like us. They're there.
They're there.
They're there, living on past glory.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we're being real.
No, I don't know. I get they're an elite franchise. I guess
they are.
Say, right?
They are. Because they had run, like you said, the first ones, and they had the ones with Favre. They had the one with Rodgers, and they're there. They're there.
I don't care. Let's move on.
Fuck
right?
The Packers. Fuck the Packers.
Tortilla says, bro, right now Mahomes is the modern day Bradshaw. When he turns into the modern day Tom Brady is when I'm going to be scared. He might be the modern day Bradshaw at the moment. But if he continues, it's that continuance. It's that always when you thought Tom Brady was kind of done, and he never was, and it went on for a decade, and then another decade, and then after that he goes to another team and wins a Super Bowl. You know that's a whole different status. But I think Mahomes is somewhere between there and Brady. I think he's between the two. Bradshaw, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's see. Corey says I have more hot takes. Wait a minute, I'm skipping some, man. Here we go. Cody says we had a great O-line, and Ben and Bell didn't whatever they wanted. They ran the same player against Buffalo 50 times because they couldn't stop it. Tortilla says I'd probably take Dak over Love, to be honest. Corey says I have more hot takes, LOL. I think the Steelers go to the AFC Championship. I think overall we lead the league in rushing, and I think the Chiefs don't make it past the wild card.
Wow.
Hey,
those are some hot takes.
Yeah, they are hot. But on the other hand, you got to remember, too, Tom Brady sometimes didn't win in the playoffs as well. True. So at some point, the Chiefs got to lose. They
have to, don't they?
I mean, how many consecutive Super Bowls can this team go to?
They can't make it to 4 in a row.
Jeez, oh, man.
They can't be like the Bills and go 4 straight.
Well, they won, so they're nothing like the Bills, right?
Yeah, but you know what I mean. What I mean, going to 4
absolutely. John says Stroud got exposed last year. Jaden Daniels will be targeted this year. The NFL is a $1 billion brutal business. You know what? I'm interested in the whole Jaden Daniels follow-up season. This is something that I'm going to be into this year because I'm hearing and seeing different things. Some things I think that he's fantastic, and then I hear bad things, and other things I don't see as good. Then I hear good things. So, Mike, I'm very interested in seeing this rookie that took the Washington Redskins, if you will, to the NFC Championship game last year out of nowhere. It's going to be very interesting to follow along and see what Jaden Daniels, how he follows up last season.
And I'm trying to figure out what the hell the Houston Texans are doing. Last year, they got rid of their entire interior offensive line and got their quarterback killed. This year, they get rid of their starting left tackle, Laramie Tunsil, and another starter, and have gone with a completely revamped offensive line that is worse than they had last year. That's the way to get your building block quarterback killed. I don't know what they're doing down there. It is ridiculous what they're doing.
Tortilla says, I'm actually surprised Tomlin and Rodgers haven't publicly said something about that Super Bowl. If they haven't, yeah, I don't think
they have.
I've heard little things. I don't even remember what I heard. I heard something early on. Guys were talking about the Super Bowl. Let's see.
Coach is like, if you don't want to run laps, you're going to keep your mouth shut.
Exactly. Tortilla says Tom Brady combined what MJ and LeBron did great. LeBron's longevity and MJ's rings.
Yeah.
Guys, a couple more things about this offense. This is what Skylar Thompson's comments on getting his role changed. We're going to be seeing him a lot over the next 3 weeks. Unfortunately, I was hoping to see the rookie. That's not going to play out that way, guys. Skylar Thompson says, really nothing is going to change other than me getting the reps physically now. So I am looking forward to getting the opportunity and getting out there and go to play some football. Again, you are a pro football player. So yes, there should be nothing new, anything different, Mikey, but he is going to be getting some serious reps in the preseason. Of course, Aaron Rodgers, first they said he was not going to participate in this game this week, but then he comes out and says that he's open to playing this week. So I don't think it's anything to do with what Aaron Rodgers wants. This is a Coach Tomlin call. He was going to sit Rodgers just because, I think, but Rodgers does come out and say that he's totally willing to play in the first preseason game.
Yeah, I've noticed so far, like a couple starters around the league aren't going to be playing the week one. It seems to be the thing now.
Yeah,
giving those guys a rest and letting the young guys get a lot in the first game. We also signed some bottom feeding backup quarterback too, like Woodside, I think his name is. Surprise, has familiarity with the Arthur Smith offense, so he'll be in there. He might be playing too. Probably see him in like the fourth quarter.
I know. If we keep this up, Mike, we're gonna have us a whole Arthur Smith built team before this is over. We're gonna have the Atlanta Falcons, the 7-10 Falcons, before you know it.
Hell yeah, brother!
For whatever reason, he just loved that team. I don't get it, and he likes to talk about that 21-30 record.
This guy, I think he's just here to because they don't want Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph.
We don't bring anybody in from San Francisco. They all seem to be from Arthur Smith's former teams. Is all I got to say. That's the only note that I'm saying.
We're not bringing someone who knows the offense, baby.
Nobody that's got because it was so great.
It was so great
anyway. Again, 7-10, 7-10, 7-10. Let's keep that train rolling, guys.
Hell yeah, baby.
I tend to think that, Mike, that you get guys that do better, you're going to get better results. But we'll follow the Arthur Smith train and see how it goes.
You take the 9-8 and the 7-10. You add them up, brother. You might get a playoff win.
I don't know what you're talking about. What's 7-10?
Steelers go 9-8. Arthur Smith goes 7-10. You add them up, the numbers somehow in numerology.
Maybe you have to put it in a gematria calculator.
I think you do. You got to get the anti-Catherium.
And it's and then you hit equal, and it's gonna say losses is what it's gonna say.
Signal nuts.
A couple other things, Mike, about the offense. We do have to move on. Brandon Johnson has been wowing. Apparently, wide receiver Brandon Johnson, a name not talked about quite enough, I guess, Mike, because at practice he has been wowing was the word being used to describe Brandon Johnson's play. And Mike, also, we're talking about yesterday and leading up to this point, it was DK on these longer passes. This is something we have to be able to do is get the ball downfield.
Yeah.
Again, a problem we had last year was not being able to see over the line with our quarterback. Hopefully this changes this year with our new personnel. Mike, DK Metcalf last year on 20 plus yard targets. There was 16 catches, which was first in the league on 20 plus yard catches. 5 touchdowns with 20 plus or more, which was tied for second. And also DK had a 96.4 receiving grade under those guidelines, Mike, and that came in second as well. So if anybody is going to come in and fix that little problem, we brought in a pretty good candidate to do so with DK Metcalf. But again, I see. Listen, call me crazy, take me out to the range and shoot me, but I see some of them balls just kind of get hanging up in the air for Aaron this year, Mike. And it's something that I'm seeing. I'm hearing a lot of zip on the ball, but I'm also seeing on a lot of these passes in these videos, some of them kind of hang a little bit too long. Juan Thornhill lands under that sucker, or somebody lands under it's an interception. You've seen it, Patrick Queen early on in camp. Those are the passes that kind of worry me, Mike. In big game situations, they want to go for that long ball, and it hangs a little too long.
Yeah.
These safeties are beasts in the NFL, Mike. They're hawks. They see this coming a mile away. That hanging ball from a 42-year-old quarterback from time to time, that's a concern for me.
It's looking like his like that 10 to 15, 10 to 20, he got the zip. It's once you start going 20 plus, trying to hit those long striders, that's where the issue's coming in. But hey, you hit enough quick slants that eventually pulls everyone in. Then you can throw that deep one. If it hangs a little, you hopefully won't have a deep safety out there lurking, and we can mitigate that. It's just when they start throwing that deep one in too high safety looks, I would avoid that play because, two guys back there ball hawking. If you're going to throw floaters out there, that's not ideal. If you get single high look, go ahead and chuck it up there. If it hangs a little bit, hopefully you're throwing it to the opposite side of the field of where that safety starting to shade.
Cody says Cordell Patterson and a bunch of throw-up faces. You know what I mean? For what he was early on in the, when he came here, it worked. He returned a little bit. He came in some key situations on a play that you're expecting maybe Najee or Jalen, and he runs the ball and gets a first down. He ran his course. I'm not upset that Patterson's gone. I'm not upset that he was here. It was what it was. The past few seasons were what they were. Now we look to change all that and move forward. So again, Mike, he's an older gentleman. He won't ever be back. He's probably going to be done in the league here soon, I could imagine. But again, at the end of the day, he was what he was.
Yeah, I remember he was doing well. I forget what game it was. Like, he couldn't get anything going with the run game. Najee couldn't do anything. Jalen couldn't do anything. We brought him in. He ran off 3 or 4 straight runs, just moving the ball. Then he fumbled, and that turned the complexion of the game. We ended up losing that game, and then ever since it was like the rest of the season after that game, Cordell Patterson was completely ineffective. It's like you literally saw his career go to a screeching halt on that play.
He was a veteran mind, and to have the veteran out there sometimes in situations always it's a plus. And again, nothing more, nothing less to me. He did his time here and he moved on. I no different than anybody else, Mike, that came and went to me.
Yep.
We just got to keep moving forward, right, guys? Let's see. Corey says I'll work on the geometry to see if I can predict how we'll do this season. Yes, I knew if you could work on the geometry, Corey, that'd be fantastic. Tortilla says next thing we know, Arthur Smith is head coach and Acrisure Stadium turns into FedEx Stadium.
We got a dome over it and shit.
Yeah. Cody says undrafted rookie Bishop got him twice last year.
Yeah, he did. He got him autographed too.
Yeah. John says I wrote it yesterday. Rogers out. Hold on, let me move this. John, I wrote it yesterday. Rogers averaged only 7 yards per attempt last year. Yes, he did say that yesterday. His long ball dropped off. That's a concern, obviously. Jen says Zach Frazier had a baby boy named Bo. Nice.
Can Bo play left tackle?
Yeah, could. Cody says the Colts. Corey says
that was the game. Thank you. I couldn't remember the game.
Corey says Patterson showed out against the Colts and never did anything after that. And Tortilla says DK isn't a deep ball wide receiver anyway. I think we're finally going to see a lot of slants and comeback routes. Screens, tight ends will be used a lot, and his whole lot of running. Yeah, and I think that's why his numbers were so great. Like, he's just a big guy. He's a beastie guy, and he can get it for you. But you're right. I think we're going to see a lot more slants and things like this year, which I'm not against, because we went years without seeing. It seems like without seeing a slant pass on the Steelers. Maybe crazy, but RB says don't make the dome jokes. The league is pushing for all domes by 2035.
Hell, man, we're going to get a Super Bowl in Pittsburgh that way.
Yeah, that's true. Could be the only way that'll ever happen. Guys, over on the defensive side of the ball, just a quick note about TJ Watt. I know there's a lot of people that like him. There's a lot of people that dislike him. There's a lot of people that have opinions one way or another, but this is one opinion that you cannot change. Mike, in the NFL all time, most sacks per game, minimum 100 games, TJ Watt 0.89. Garrett right behind him with 0.88. Reggie White 0.85. Lawrence Taylor 0.79. And DeMarcus Ware 0.78. Mike, this is
Damn.
most sacks per game in a minimum of 100 games. TJ Watt is, in fact, the best ever. So say what you want, do what you want with that. That is, in fact, the stats, the numbers. He hasn't played as long as Reggie yet. He hasn't played. But again, at the end of the day, there's nothing that indicates that that he's going to drop off to the point where he's not on this list anytime soon, Mike. So those are always going to be encouraging numbers to hear about any of your players, especially your star player, who some people, again, are skeptical of, even at this point, as he leads all time and everything pretty much. Still, people are going to say he's this, he's that. Mike, maybe he should just start getting a little bit more help from the people around him.
Yeah.
And then he can continue to do what he does, and then we can get the success. Don't everybody else fall off while TJ Watt's doing the great things, right?
Because what TJ Watt is doing, I expect a lot more from, Alex Highsmith. I expect a lot more from Cam Hayward's doing already. It's hard to argue Cam Hayward's double-digit sack seasons next to TJ Watt, but like those other guys that should be getting more one-on-one blocks. You got to start beating your guys and make plays. If Watt's getting double, triple teams and putting up, 17 sack seasons, 14 sack seasons, 0.8 sacks a game, these guys everyone else has to up their game too. If he ups his game, they up their game. This defense is going to be lights the fuck out.
John says Frazier needs to work on snaps. Is it normal to break a hand on normal center? You don't see it often. I got to tell you, John, you're not wrong. You don't see a quarterback breaking their hand often on snaps. You just don't. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
I'm blaming the fragile baby hands from the Ohio State quarterback.
Yeah, we could go with that.
Those guys are soft.
Also, I've seen Gus Frerotte run and bang his head into a wall and get knocked out.
God.
But to see a quarterback
with a broken hand
to see a quarterback break his hand from taking a snap, it blows my mind, guys. Again, it's just unfortunate, very unfortunate. RB says people bitching about the 7 yards after. Yes, LOL. We went through 2 years of Kenny with 4.8. That's true. I mean, but at the end of the day, I mean, guys, we hope things are way better than the Kenny experience. And again, Mike, your kids are just trying. I have my door locked and they're banging and slamming on my door. I don't know why they continue to do this.
I don't know. I need a trank gun. Let me go corral these little heathens.
All right, yeah, go ahead, do that. RB said Jeff Saturday used dent metal doors with his snaps from Indianapolis. Of course, Jeff Saturday, one of the best, no two ways about that. And sorry about that little mix-up. It threw me off there. I got things slamming and banging outside of my door. I don't know why this is happening, Mike, but Mike is on it right now. Guys, a couple other things here. I'm going to listen to this. I have this. This was actually put out by Steelers Nation. This is NFL teams history grade. This is a grade for every team in the NFL on their team's history. It was interesting, and that's the only reason I'm going to do this. But again, this was put up by Steeler Nation. I'm going to go through all the teams in their grades of their franchises over time. For example, the Steelers, they have an A. That's no question about it. The team from top to bottom, every franchise, here's their grades. I'm going to start with our division. The Steelers all time, their franchise on this particular list, they got an A. The Ravens got a B+. I could agree with that. The Bengals, they come in with an average C. And the Cleveland Browns, guys, F. Cleveland Browns on this list got an F for their all-time grade overall. The AFC East looks like this. The Patriots, they got an A. The other three teams, all C's. The Dolphins got a C. The Buffalo Bills got a C+. And the New York Jets got a C- all time. And I don't know how the Jets landed a C- all time. They literally only won one Super Bowl and not much else besides that. And again, Buffalo, I guess they've been average over time, but those three teams land with a C. As the Patriots, they land with an A. The AFC West all time. Kansas City Chiefs, a B+ grade. Denver Broncos, a B+ grade. The Raiders, a B-, and the Chargers, a C-. Again, whether you agree with these, whether you don't, I just thought this was interesting. The grades all time. AFC South, the best team in that division, the Indianapolis Colts with a B-. The Tennessee Titans, a C+. The Jaguars and the Houston Texans both come in with D's as their all-time franchise grades. And that wraps up the AFC. Let's go over to the NFC side. Mike, what I'm doing is I'm reading a list here. This is it went up by way of Steelers Nation yesterday. And this is a chart of every team's grades for their franchise of all time. So like the Steelers have an A, the Browns got an F, but it's basically grading every team's all-time franchise. It's giving them a grade. I'm in the NFC now. Mike, all-time, the Dallas Cowboys, they have an A- as an all-time grade for their team. The Giants, a B+. They won a lot of Super Bowls. Don't get it twisted. The Giants aren't really ever that good, but they do come along every once in a while and win a Super Bowl. Yeah. And we've seen it. I don't get it. I can't explain it. But, Mike, all-time, the Giants, a B+. The Eagles, a B-. In the Washington organization, Mike, a C+ all-time. And I just want to throw it in because you did miss a little bit, Mike, but the Browns are the only team so far that has an F. Nobody else in the league has an F.
That sounds about right. Yeah, you know what? Sounds about right.
Guys, also in the NFC, let's go to the NFC North next. The best team in that division, obviously, as far as their all-time grades, the Green Bay Packers with an A-. The Bears with a B-. I don't get this one at all. The Vikings with the C. And the Lions with a D all-time. Which I think does all pretty much add up, except for the Bears. How would they land? How would they ever be a B?
They had what, 85 was their only Super Bowl, correct?
Yeah, and the Jets won a Super Bowl too. So I don't get it. The Jets are a C all time, and the Bears are a B. Makes sense. Mike, the AFC South, the best team in that division all time is the Saints with a C+. Tampa Bay with a C. Carolina with a C-, and Atlanta with a D.
Tampa Bay has what, 2 Super Bowls?
Yes.
And the Saints have the 1.
Yes. And even Atlanta, even Atlanta was in a couple. They lost and they're lower than Carolina.
Yeah, but they were never really like dominant teams, like really uber competitive or steady. They were Saints, and the Bucs have been bottom feeders for a while too, at times as well. So I can see it, but I don't know. Maybe recency bias with Tampa Bay. I would have them higher, but yeah, their history was drizzling shits for a long time.
And then finally, Mike, the NFC West, or the NFC West, I'm sorry, San Francisco, all-time grade is an A. This organization, they give them an A. And they have 5 Super Bowls. You got to give them their respect. Mike, the next best team in this division is a C+, with the Seahawks and the Rams both coming in with C+ on this grading system. And finally, the Cardinals, they grade out with a D for their organization, their franchise all-time. Again, this was put up by Steelers Nation, Inc. Just yesterday, and it's a grading every NFL team by their history. Mike, again, Steelers an A, Patriots an A, Cowboys, San Francisco, teams that you would expect. Green Bay, some of the great franchises that really did a lot of things over time. Like, they got their A's, and the only team in the league that managed to get an F was the Cleveland Browns. So close enough for me.
That works for me. The Browns, they haven't even sniffed a Super Bowl.
And this is why I found it interesting enough to read on the show, because again, it's kind of accurate. There's some things that were head scratchers. Yeah, the Bears being a B when other teams that certainly had more over time. Even the Rams, they've been to plenty of Super Bowls. They won the greatest show on turf. They just won, a couple seasons ago. Mike, they are a C and the Bears are B. So things like that, a little bit off to me, but again, for the most part, pretty accurate.
Pretty accurate. And like for some reason, like the Bears, because they've been around forever, people want to make them like a storied NFL franchise.
Yeah.
And
right.
outside of that 85 season, name me another Bears season that was like, oh yeah, awesome. Yeah, they did, go to the Super Bowl with
Rex Grossman.
No, yeah, was it Rex Grossman?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, him just chucking it deep every play. And that really good defense that they had, but they've had 2 really good seasons out of their entire history to make them that high on the list makes no sense. Like if you're going to go by that criteria, Tampa Bay should be a whole hell of a lot higher too.
And then, like I said, the Rams. I mean, they were playing
The
Super
Rams,
Bowls in
yeah.
the 70s. We beat them in the 70s. The Rams,
They
have done more.
Yeah,
I would say.
Minnesota. If it wasn't for us, they probably would have had a Super Bowl victory as well. And they're just Minnesota seems like a cursed franchise too. Every time they get close, Gary Anderson misses his first field goal ever that season. They run into the Steelers. Yeah.
Let me read a couple of these messages, and then I'm going to. All right, let me get. Hey, Kenneth, what's up on the board, my man? Always great seeing Kenny. Kenny says today Tallman said Will could possibly play a preseason game. He did have a brace on his hand. He was out there doing walkthroughs yesterday. Again, practice today, within the hour. So we will find out more on that moving forward. But again, you know what? Maybe. And on the other side of the coin, Mike, we're not going to get out of him what we wanted out of him. We wanted to give him mad time over these next 3 games and see what he had. You're not going to get that. If he does go in and participate, that's one thing. But again, at this point, Mike, I just don't know if it's going to make much difference.
Yeah, and it all depends on how fast he can heal and then deal with it, and if when the doctors are going to clear him too.
John says, RB, I pointed out a stat. You were bitching about my statement, back with the fact. No doubt Pickett sucks. That is why he is gone. RB says, Kenneth, I've seen that. I don't know why he couldn't. The pinky isn't used to throw the ball. Some QBs don't even put the pinky on the ball. I just think it's a broken bone. He's your, Cody, how are the Bengals not the same as the Cleveland Bengals? They have no rings. Yeah, I know. But they,
they went to a couple Super Bowls.
They lost 3 Super Bowls. I guess getting there should count for something, right? I don't know. That's just my guess. Let's see. RB says, John, stats like that don't mean shit, though. The Jets threw a ton of halfback screens, RPO, wide receiver digs, and halfback option routes. Rodgers still has a top 5 to 8 arm in the NFL. Standard stats like that have no context. And Cody says that the Bengals D, same as the Jets and the Lions. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Again, some of the things are very accurate on there, but other things definitely make you scratch your head like, what the fuck? John says, RB, Rodgers wasn't thrown short because he wasn't mobile. He didn't trust the offensive line. Time will tell if either variable has changed. Today, guys, 7 o'clock tonight, we have preseason football. The Colts at the Ravens tonight. Also, the Bengals at the Eagles is 7:30 start. And then the late game tonight, guys, is the Raiders at the Seahawks. Tomorrow it picks back up when the Browns take a trip down to Carolina. That's a 7 o'clock game. The Lions at the Falcons is a 7 o'clock game tomorrow. Also, the Commanders at New England wraps up the night tomorrow. That is a 7:30 start. Back at it on Saturday, guys. The earliest game of the day is the Giants at the Bills. That's a 1 o'clock. 4 o'clock is Houston at Minnesota. Of course, our Pittsburgh Steelers play at 7 o'clock. They go down to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Also at 7 o'clock, the Cowboys versus the Rams. 7:30 starts the Titans versus at the Buccaneers. Jets at the Packers. Chiefs at the Cardinals. Broncos at 49ers. And then on Sunday, you got a couple games. You have an early game, 1 o'clock, the Dolphins at the Bears. And then also at 4:05, the Saints at the Chargers. And that wraps up this week of preseason football. It'll kick back off next week on Friday and go through the weekend again, guys, as the Steelers will be hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next week at 7 o'clock on Saturday. So that's what the weekend is looking like. So we have football tonight, Mike. We got, again, it's some teams that you don't really care for. You got the Rams, the Bengals. The Ravens, the Bengals, teams like this. But at the end of the day, it's preseason football. It's NFL on your TV. I can't express how good that feels this part of the year, Mike, here in August, getting ready to go into regular season after a nice long 6 months off of NFL football.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. But like John said yesterday, he had the same thing going into the Hall of Fame game. I wanted to turn it off after the Lions went to shit.
You know what? That's always kind of been my argument. And I've heard that plenty of times over the past week and a half. You know, the NFL game is the worst thing ever. But you know what? It's the NFL. It puts NFL football on my TV, and I'm cool with that. But I totally get what you and John are saying.
Yeah.
But I just feel better. I feel more in my place when there's football on, and I'm watching it. And
because you know what's around the corner. You have to suffer through these shitty preseason games to get to the good shit.
Yeah. Sticky B, what you know about Sticky B? Sticky B says for fantasy football managers, and any football is good football. That's right.
And for gambling degenerates as well.
And Mike, anything? Why don't you tell us something good about the website?
The2dumbyensers.com. Check it out, everyone. Ryan and I's social media links are all over there. We got the blog. We got the merch store. Check it out at the2dumbyensers.com.
Real quick here, Mike. Just real quick before we get into the trivia. The Pirates lose yesterday. They lose the series to the Giants. And by doing this, Mike, they were eliminated officially from the playoffs. That's right. You could stop saving up for your World Series tickets. The Pirates have been eliminated from the playoffs. However, they do start a series today against the Reds at home. It's a 4-game set. Game 1 is today at 6:40. Paul Skeens on the hill. He'll be taking on Brady Singer. The Pirates are 49-66 coming into the series. The Reds are 68-55. Skeens 6-9. A bad, not a great record, but a 2.02 ERA, which is the total opposite ends of the spectrum. He brings 154 strikeouts into this game, Mike, as the Pirates take on the Reds in game 1 of 4.
Let's go Reds.
Here we go, guys. Time for some trivia. Let me grab this real quick. A couple messages coming through. RB says, John, what film are you watching? Rodgers moved just fine. I'd argue he moved better than our other quarterbacks beside Mitch and Fields. He sure moved better than Kenny, Russ, Mason, and Ben. Cody says, Browns-Panthers should be exciting. And then, you know what, the Browns, we were going to see Shedeur Sanders. He's going to be getting the start. So that's interesting, guys, for one of the games. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock. RB says teams played New York Jets in a too high shell and forced them to play the quick game. And then, okay, so let me go to the trivia of the day, guys. Put on your thinking cap, Mike. Everybody on the board, here we go. Here is the question of the day. We are going down to play the Jaguars this week, Mike. The question of the day is this: what is the Steelers' all-time playoff record against Jacksonville? What is the Steelers' all-time playoff record against Jacksonville? Take a minute to think that over, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day, right here on YouTube. Mike, the question of the day, guys on the board, everybody at home, here we go. What is the Steelers' all-time playoff record versus the Jaguars? What's your thought process, Mike? Any ideas? Any thoughts?
Well, I know I'm pretty sure we have a losing record against them because we had a trivia question a couple weeks ago about if we have a winning or losing record against them. So I'm going to go 6-7. 6-7
all time. Say that Jaguars have more wins. Is this your final answer?
Wait. You said playoffs?
Yeah.
Playoffs. I'm sorry. Let's go.
Well, regular season, they would have played a lot more.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait a second. Yeah, I was thinking regular season for some reason. So I'm going to go 1-2.
In regular season, they would have played a lot more because they used to play the Jaguars twice a season in the 90s. So I don't know what the hell your thought process is, but you're saying, what is it, 1-2?
1-2.
Okay.
It might be the after work rum and Coke talk.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right. Locked you in on 1-2. On the board, we got a whole bunch of different answers as well. Corey says he thinks it's 0-3. RB says 0-2. Cody says 0-1. Tortilla saying 4-1. Guys, question again of the day is this: what is the Steelers' all-time playoff record against the Jacksonville Jaguars? Coasterholics is saying 0-3 on the board, Mike. Mike has 1-2. Guys, question of the day. We do play the Jacksonville Jaguars in our first preseason game on Saturday. What is the Steelers' all-time playoff record versus Jacksonville? Mike says 1-2. Bunch of different answers on the board. The answer, guys, is 0-2.
Ooh.
both somewhat recent.
Yep.
So yeah, RB hits that one right on the head. The all-time Steeler record against Jacksonville in the playoffs is 0-2. Cody says, "Wonder how many times the Jags made the playoffs." I remember the Jacksonville Jaguars. Did they beat? I don't remember if they beat or they got beat by Miami back in the 90s or back in the early 2000s, and it was like a 63-7 game.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was unbelievable because the guy I worked with was a Dolphin fan, and that's the only reason I remember this. And I don't remember which way it went. I just remember one of the teams had 60-some points, and it was a blowout. But yeah, Jacksonville has not had great playoff success. I think we could all agree on that. Never advancing to the Super Bowl in their time. Like I was a kid when this team was an expansion team. Them and the Panthers came in the same exact year. Panthers been there, however, not Jacksonville. Marcelo Rivera, hey, welcome to see you on the show. Welcome to the board. That was a 2018 playoff game. So painful. Yeah, you're right.
Oh.
Wasn't that the game that we got outscored? Like they scored a shitload of points against us too.
Yeah, it was a high scoring game. Like, offense had turnovers. We couldn't stop the run or the pass. Coaster's saying like Blake Bortles looked like Tom Brady out there. Who was it? Todd Gurley or who was their running back? Was it Gurley? Oh no, Fournette. Fournette ran all over us. Ugh. That was a painful game.
Yeah, those two playoff games were really rough. Again, that one game we were certainly expected to win. We were favored to win, but that didn't quite go our way. Just seems for whatever reason we played Jacksonville in the playoffs. Yeah, Marcelo's saying on the board 45-42. That was definitely the one. And I think we scored a bunch of points late to even make it look that close. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm remembering it right, I think they was way out ahead. Yeah, RB's saying 28-9 at the half. And we made it look like a game as time went on, but it was certainly not as close as that.
Like Jacksonville's that team that's always given us trouble.
Oh, absolutely. Even back in the day, they were that team. I don't know.
You see it though, man. Certain organizations are a thorn in the side for another team. Like the Jets were always like they would find a way to give Brady a loss in the middle of the season. That you're like, how the hell did they lose that?
Right. So yeah, let me see. They beat us at 45-42. And I don't know. I don't know what the other one was, but it wasn't good either. But they were both somewhat recent, and I think the guys are nailing all the details on the board here, Mike, as I wasn't able to pull them up. What were the years? I'm going to pull that up real quick, Mike. See pull up the last 10 games versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're going to get them. It's going to be in the last 10 games. I just don't.
I got it right here. It was 45-42.
Yeah. What year?
2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ben
had 5 touchdowns and 1 pick that game.
What's the other year?
I didn't look all the way that up. My bad. I was in the middle.
Don't worry about looking up what we're talking about. Go ahead.
I was in the middle of looking up.
All right. Stop yelling at me.
I
think it was all in the same period of time, though. I don't think those two Jacksonville Jaguar losses were far from one another, Mike. If I'm not mistaken, you got them up yet?
I thought you told me to
here. I'll get them. You want me to get them?
No.
Mike, you just sit there and stare off into space. I'll find them. Let's see. Ben was shit in the first half. RB says he had like 3 interceptions, had 4 second half touchdowns, I believe.
So what am I looking for? Steelers and Jags
Mike,
last 10 games.
The two losses in the playoffs.
18.
And you want I should do it?
You might have to, because I think I did the wrong search engine. Yeah, I did the wrong search.
All right, just talk. Here,
Steelers v Jags playoff
Mike, I can't even believe we're doing it here. Let's move on. I'm so frustrated.
I'm sorry.
I'm so frustrated with what you're doing right now.
I'm frustrated with you because I was looking up one thing that you threw something else at me. You know,
You're
my brain
frustrated
can't
with
handle
me?
two things. Yeah,
With
my
me?
brain can't handle two things at once. You know this.
I just asked you to pull up 2 scores. What's going on? Yeah, in 2018 they lost 45-42. And the other one, Mike, for some odd reason I cannot pull it up fast enough. The other one was a 31-29 loss, and that was in 2008. 8 and 18.
2008. Okay.
08 and 18. Yeah. Let's get back into some of these messages, Mike. We will get ready to start wrapping things
I
up.
kept searching for Steelers Jaguars, and it kept coming up to 2018, 2018.
Hey,
then the game in 2017. I
Blake
was so
Bortles
confused.
looked like Tom Brady that game. That playoff game. Okay, I'm just trying to find where we might be here. Cody was still in his dad's balls. John says, RB, again, time will tell. You don't have to move so much with a quick release, which Rodgers did, just like Ben. If I'm wrong, I will admit it. RB says, I know, I'm just saying I watched every New York Jets snap 2 times over. The statue stuff is an absolute joke because he's not Lamar or Fields or Daniels. They say he's a statue. 1 in 3 steps is all you need. And then he finishes that up, Mike, by saying sometimes, but he rolls out. His rollouts look perfectly fine. Mike, anything before we do start getting ready to wrap the show up for today?
Yeah, Steelers signed a veteran offensive lineman, former first-round pick from the New Orleans Saints, Andrew Speet. He played left guard and left tackle in the NFL, started at both. So he might be the insurance policy for Broderick Jones if Broderick Jones fails.
Or the saving grace. I don't know if insurance policy is even the word at this time. This might be the answer. Who knows, guys? Vegas, what's up, brother? He says he missed the entire show. Always great seeing Vegas on the board.
Welcome. Vegas.
Welcome. Mike, I do want to say a couple things before we do start getting ready to wrap things up here. Pete Davidson and Nicholas Holt was spotted at Kennywood, Mike, for they were in town recording the movie How to Rob a Bank. So if you were at Kennywood over the past couple of days and you were walking by the Black Widow and you saw who you thought was Pete Davidson in the Black Widow, it was Pete Davidson. Again, the guys are in town working on the movies How to Rob a Bank.
You mean it wasn't just a random local crackhead?
Wasn't just a random local crackhead. It was Pete Davidson. And yes, you heard me right. He was at Kennywood. Also, Mike, anybody else who wants to look this up on their own, I didn't send the Mike picture over to Mike to put up, but anybody ever gets a chance to look up Marshall, the college Marshall's new athletic director. His name is Gerald J. Harrison. If you look him up, I don't know, just an interesting look. Mike, are you pulling him up right now? By chance?
I'm replying to.
Could you pull that up right now by chance since we are talking about it? This is the Marshall's athletic director, Gerald J. Harrison. Mike's going to pull up the picture. Just let me know what your first response to this gentleman is when he does pull it up. I think it's just kind of an interesting picture, and I think you understand what I mean when I say it, when he shows it. Marcellus' first-time viewer here. What's the schedule look like? Would you like to tune in throughout the year?
What was that guy's title? Marshall's what?
I don't know, Mike. It's an old conversation. I'm just moving forward here. I'm trying to wrap things up.
I was in the middle of replying to Marcel.
I know. I could have certainly did that on the air, but Mike, we have to move forward. It's almost time here. Guys, yes, we will be on all week, Monday through Friday, all season long. Matter of fact, we go all year long, Monday through Friday. It's technically an 11 o'clock start, but sometimes it gets right around 11:30, but we do go about 2 hours every day. So roughly 11:30 to 1:30 every day, Monday through Friday. And we do want to say welcome to you, Marcella. Great having you here. Welcome.
Yes.
Cody says Trevor Lawrence made fun of the terrible towel and his career went in the toilet after that. That's damn right. See if he learns his lesson. Nobody messes with the terrible towel.
Fuck no.
Did you see the picture of I think AB had it up. It was the picture of the girl, Sophie Cunningham from the WNBA. He's like, look, it's Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, Jesus.
Tall, skinny, long, blonde hair, the bigger nose, you know.
Is AB still on the lam?
You know what? I don't know what the hell's going on with AB. He should be on the run. I don't know where he's at. I don't know if he's in this country. I don't know what's going on with him, but I do know that he was being sought after for some time. But yeah, that was kind of a funny one there. Vegas says Kennywood has been open since like the 1800s. John says that 2018 loss in the playoffs was the beginning of the end by 1,000 cuts.
Yes, it was, brother. Yes, it was.
RB, you were not. He says, am I the only one who thinks Pete Davidson isn't even remotely funny? I don't think he's funny at all, actually. I just know that he's a name that people talk about. He's well known at this point. And again, he could have very well been on your favorite ride this week at Kennywood. Shout out Kennywood Phantom's Revenge is my profile pick right there. Coaster Holics is saying, and Vegas says Sammy Coates made fun of us fans that say we were not one on the team 2 weeks later. He got traded to the Browns.
Sammy Coates.
But yeah, if you do look up that picture, Mike, it is a picture. The new athletic director in Marshall. His name is Gerald J. Harrison. Pull that up real quick before we roll. John says I hate it when my mom and dad fight. Mike is going to pull it up real quick right now. Just real quick. We go. Who does this look? You just tell me one guess, and I guarantee we all have the same answer. Who does the new athletic director? His name is Gerald J. Harrison. Look like? First response, guys. I don't think it's going to be difficult. I think we're all going to be able to match right here on our answers. As soon as Mike gets it up there, again, this is Marshall, the University of Marshall, their new athletic director.
Like he looks familiar, but I can't put a finger on
who. Put his face up there, Mike.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Oh, that's not him. What the hell is that?
You said Marshall.
That's not the picture I have.
Oh, Gerald J. Harrison. That's who I got.
Yeah, I could read that. I don't know. Yeah. It just doesn't look like the same picture I see here. But anyway, that kind of ruins the joke. I'm not saying you.
You asked me to Google the guy. I Googled the guy. I get the guy.
I am not saying you ruined the joke. I'm just saying the picture ruined the joke. But anyway, guys, well, you know what? I'll talk more about that tomorrow. We have a lot of stuff going on tomorrow, guys. Again, the Gooners will be back tomorrow. Big comeback show, Mike, tomorrow night. The three Gooners tomorrow at 9:30. Catch Finch, Tim, and Ryan tomorrow at 9:30. Right here on the Two Dumb Yinzer Network. Vegas says he looks like he's in the Clump family.
Exactly, the Clumps.
Yeah. I'll bring my picture tomorrow. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Also, guys, if you haven't had a chance, go check us out on social media. We are on Facebook. We are on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, even TikTok. Stop by and hit the like, hit the subscribe, follow, all that kind of fun stuff. And if you hadn't had a chance yet today, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and share right below us. That does help us out a lot here on the show. We appreciate it very much. Vegas says Ryan must be looking at the dude in his red blazer looking over stuff. Again, maybe I don't know. I'm going to get my picture tomorrow. We'll look more into it. Again, I thought there was a totally different face is all I got to say. Maybe somebody made a meme and I just looked at it wrong or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the face, Mike, that I was expecting to see. Again, we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Anything before we wrap it up, brother?
No. I got nothing after that debacle of me trying to Google.
Vegas says he looked like a fat Doug Williams a little bit.
That's my new tag team partner.
Yeah. Vanilla Thunder and Fat Doug Williams.
Hell yeah, brother.
But I think that'd be it, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time right here. As always, do it all over again, getting ready to head into the weekend. Cody said Bill Cosby.
Hide your drinks, ladies.
We'll be back tomorrow again. We'll be getting ready to head into the weekend for the Pittsburgh Steelers' first preseason game of the year, Mike, down in Jacksonville. What's up?
It's our first preseason preview or pregame preview.
It is our first pregame.
It just dawned on me.
That's right. We'll have over-unders. We'll have predictions. We'll have all kind of other things, Mike. Again, won't really mean much in the preseason. And we probably won't do that well because, it's hard to predict what happens in the preseason.
Exactly.
But you know what? We have to condition ourselves as well, getting ready to move forward. So we'll be doing all that stuff tomorrow. I know Finch will be by. You know what? I'm probably going to fire Derpy tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know.
Best news I've heard all day, brother.
We'll see. We'll see what kind of mood I'm in. But I'm ready. I don't know. I'm ready to fire Derpy. We'll talk about all that and much, much more tomorrow. have a great one to you as well, Vegas. Everybody, we appreciate you. Thank you, John. I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You always keep things awesome and interesting here on the show. Thank you to all the new people showing up on the board. And thank you to everybody at home. Maybe you're at the gym, maybe you're at work, wherever the case may be. Thank you. And we will see everybody tomorrow at our regular time. Everyone have a great Thursday. Enjoy some NFL football tonight as we do have preseason. But we will be back tomorrow to get ready for the Steelers football game on Saturday, guys. So have a great Thursday, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.